coming from a working class family meant that we were not exposed to a lot of good things. We thought whatever we had was the best. Majority of our neighbors were quite poor themselves. So we thought this is it and this is how life is supposed to be, especially as a young child. A lot of the issues that we fight for as an organization are issues that I went through myself or know people within my community that also went through and still are going through the same things. Sexual and reproductive health and rights is not only for women, it's for everyone, regardless of your sexuality, gender, age, race, whatever, religious beliefs. So when you start the topic, usually boys are the ones that are mostly interested in it. And it's always fascinating to hear the misconceptions that they have, but they think to be true when it comes to sex. You hear a lot of bizarre stories. You hear someone saying, if I bath with cold water, will that get rid of all of my sperm and I'll never have children later? And you also hear girls talking about mixing ginger beer and aspirin to prevent a pregnancy. I'm usually worried whenever I hear of parents who say they don't want their kids to learn about comprehensive sexuality education. However, the reality is children are being sexually abused. And some of them are not even reporting it, and parents are not even aware of the signs that they could see that the child is being abused. A lot of parents fail to see it from that point of view and fail to accept what research has already told us, that learning about sex doesn't mean that you'll actually do it. It doesn't mean that you'll start doing it then. In fact, here in the Netherlands, what's very impressive is that comprehensive sexuality education is a thing and it's a reality. And the age at sexual debut is quite late, which is very beautiful. And on average, a woman starts at 17 point something to have sex, and then a man at 18 years. That's quite delayed, but what's common is that they have access to this information. Therefore, they're able to make informed decisions about their lives and their sexuality and their future. The issue now is not at the policy level, it's just at the ground level, where parents and some religious leaders are just blocking this beautiful thing from accessing the beneficiaries, basically, because adolescents are curious. Adolescents want to know about sex. Adolescents are doing it as well. Not all, but some are, and we shouldn't discriminate against those that have already started. The kind of schools that we visit, you find that a lot of those kids don't even have access to the internet. Although the internet on its own is a dangerous place to look for information at times, because there's no way of verifying it. If something is written in good English, you just think, oh, maybe this is actually correct. So the internet is a good resource for certain things and is also dangerous on its own. And not having access to either the internet or people or information from anywhere also means that your best resource is your peer, who's also not so informed. The different levels need to communicate, basically. So nationally, we already have this policy. We have this curriculum that is supposed to be trickled down to the schools and to the learners. But then there has to be engagements with parents and religious leaders, which have already started. In January, there were a lot of those meetings, consultations with these groups to make them understand the importance of having this curriculum being introduced in schools. So I think we are moving towards the right direction. And again, we just need to convince those that still see it as a negative thing about the potential gains from having our children have access to such information. Having policies that say everyone is equal, or a constitution that says that, is not enough if you yourself will just accept what the policy is saying and not actually live it. So we have to live by the policies that we already have. We have to learn to respect each other, learn to accept each other regardless of our differences.